Hey, how's it going? Gareth James here for mttpokerschool.com, and this is the Hand of the Week. Once again, it comes from the Sunday home game, played every Sunday. And if you'd like to take part in the home game, then check out the description down below about how to get involved. This hand starts at blind level 100-200 with a 25 chip ante. There are 7 players remaining. Folds around to Aerotop with pocket jacks, and he opens for just over a min raise to 435 chips. Folds around to Harvey, and Harvey now has a decision between, I think he's got, he has probably 4 options here, I guess. Folding is one, 3-betting is another, calling is one, and jamming is the 4th one. So what I'm going to do today is use this as an opportunity to show you some of the more advanced features of Holdem Resources Calculator, because there's a decision to be made here about whether we should flat or jam or 3-bet. Now what actually happens, Harvey decides to 3-bet, and to a very, very big sizing, which is probably a little bit too big for these effective stack sizes. Aerotop raised off something like 22 big blinds to begin the hand. So the problem with raising this size is now that if Aerotop jams, Harvey's going to be priced in to call with the ace-9 offsuit. The only time this would not be the case is if Aerotop's range is ridiculously tight, and I don't think it's going to be ridiculously tight. Having said that, interestingly enough, Aerotop actually chooses to flat in this situation, which I think is again another mistake. So let's just recap here. I feel like Harvey in this situation has a decision really between calling and jamming. Off these stack sizes, we don't really have a 3-bet bluffing range. I think if we had 25 to 30 big blinds in the big blind, we could then start to 3-bet bluff with some hands, which would then allow us to 3-bet our very strong hands. But in this situation, we are really going to be looking to jam or to call. And I think what we're going to look at now is whether or not ace-9 off is a good enough jam. If it's not, then it's going to go into a calling range rather than into a 3-bet bluff range, because it can't really be a 3-bet bluff, because then you're going to end up calling it off when Aerotop does jam. Facing this 3-bet Aerotop, I feel like it just has a very, very clear jam at this point, and I think it's a very clear mistake just to flat with the jacks. I mean, if you think about it, what are you really hoping for? If you're thinking, doing a little bit of forward thinking, what kind of flops are you hoping for, and how is it going to be easy to make a decision on the flop? I just feel like at this point, Harvey's probably got a strong enough hand he's going to go with. Ace-9 off, debatable whether that's the case. But he could have 8s, 9s, and 10s to play this way. I mean, again, I would probably just jam those hands. But he could definitely be 3-betting with those hands. He could have ace-king, ace-queen. If he's got ace-9, he could have ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack, ace-10. So we should definitely be very happy to get the jacks in pre-flop here. So, as I said, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to look at the more advanced features of Holdem Resources Calculator. So what we've done here is we've created an advanced hand. I'll just pull this down. And all the stack sizes are in there already, and the blind level. We're using chip EV at this stage. You can definitely use ICM. This was from the final table, but there's only one prize available, which is the lesson that we do on Twitch the following day. So whoever wins the tournament gets a free hour on Twitch of me reviewing their play. So that's the only prize. So what we do then is we click next, and here we put in the open size, which is 435, and then we've got 2 bet sizings, and I've gone for the 3-bet, which Harvey chose, the sizing he chose, which is 1580, and all in, and then a follow up to this 3-bet would be an all in 4-bet. I haven't chosen flat calls. I don't think Holdem Resources Calculator does a very good job of flat calling. So with all of these models that we do, we are looking at it from just a purely pre-flop perspective, not thinking about what happens post-flop. So there is, a little bit of margin for error, I guess, in that Aerotop actually chooses to flat here, which I feel is a mistake. But other people are going to flat here as well in situations. So we're just focusing on the pre-flop. So we're just using this as a guideline really. We click next, and then we can go through and we can select who raises and who 3-bets and this, that, and the other. I've already done the calculation, which is here, and what I've done is I've edited Aerotop's range. Maybe he should be a little bit wider here. he's perhaps on the tighter side, so I've gone with this this range. And then this is the equilibrium solutions against this range. So we've got him 3-betting 8% of hands and jamming 10%. Now the thing is, what you're going to see is a lot of these hands, there's a lot of crossover. And what's going on here is that the equilibrium solution is a mix with most hands, apart from 7s and 6s. And I'll just show you one here as well. So you can see that we should be doing a mixture of 3-betting and jamming based on the equilibrium solution. Now, I don't think that's what's going on here. I think he's taking the wrong kind of hands and 3-betting them. As I said, if Aerotop did jam, Harvey's now priced in to call with the ace-9 offsuit, and that's not really a situation we want. So what I wanted to look at here, first of all, we're going to look at the 3-betting or jamming with ace-9 offsuit just to compare the EVs. So in the first one, this is the 3-bet to 1580. You can see the EV of 3-betting ace-9 off is 0.29, and you can see that the jamming ace-9 off here is worth 0.31. So already it's kind of pointing us in the right direction, pointing us in the direction that jamming would be pretty good in this situation. With, as I said, with 22 big blinds, there's not really any room to 3-bet fold. A lot of people will have you believe that that is the case, and on final tables actually there is some room to do that. But in terms of chip EV, when you're getting such a great price, we really don't want to be passing up on an opportunity to call, getting the right odds. So, having looked at all of this, what I wanted to look at now was, okay, so what sort of hands can we jam in this situation? And what I think we could do actually is say, okay, we're not actually going to 3-bet any hands small. This is my hypothesis for this this situation. So now all of a sudden, okay, so these are the profitable hands that we can jam here, and you can see ace-9 off still in that range, very, very profitable, and we're pretty happy to go with this. Now what I think we should do probably is just run the calculation again just to check, because things are going to change. Now you can see now the jam with ace-9 offsuit is a little bit less profitable. If this was our only strategy here. But you can see all the other hands that you're going to want to go ahead and shove here, and then as a response to that, Aerotop's calling off with these hands. So what I've done there is I've just highlighted the more advanced features. It's an advanced hand that we're running, and then we're comparing the difference between jamming and 3-betting. Just wanted to highlight something, that when Harvey does 3-bet and then Aerotop jams, if this was his jamming range versus that 3-bet, you can see now, this is the point I wanted to make about how you're going to be priced in. So you can see a ridiculously wide or large number of hands can be calls in this situation. Hands like 7-4 suited, hands like Queen-6 off. Now, you're not 3-betting with those hands, but if you were, and Aerotop decided to jam, you're priced into call with those hands, and that's just not a good thing. We just don't want that to happen. You can see the ace-9 offsuit now, just slam dunk call against that range. This is maybe fairly similar to what Aerotop might jam. I mean, if he's not jamming jacks, I mean, I'm not entirely sure what he's jamming here. But I think you could run this simulation now to see how you're still going to be getting such a great price even against such a tight range. So just to recap then, with 22-ish big blinds, there's not really too much room to be 3-bet folding. You're just going to be getting such a good price. Therefore, you're just looking to 3-bet jam or to flat in this situation. And given that ace-9 offsuit is a profitable jam here, I would just jam. But then I would flat hands like ace-8 through ace-2 offsuit. You saw the hands that we could jam in this situation, so we take all of those hands and feel pretty confident in jamming these hands, and then we're going to be flatting with the hands that fall outside this range. Now, if you look at some of these really marginal hands and you don't want to jam them, that's fine. You just go ahead and flat with them instead. As played as well, Aerotop should definitely be jamming over this 3-bet. The stack sizes are too short to really want to play post-flop poker, and I really hope this video has helped you to see that. Okay, I'll catch you next time. Cheers.
Thanks for checking out this video. If you would like free strategy articles and YouTube videos and free podcast episodes delivered straight to your inbox, then head over to mttpokerschool.com right now and sign up for our mailing list. I'll even throw in a free push fold guide and opening hand cheat sheet. What are you waiting for? Head to mttpokerschool.com right now.